Well, I'm ready whenever you guys are.
I'm ready too. What episode is it? 71?
This is
71?
What? This is 91.
How about 9? Yeah.
You guys better start thinking of some interactions you like.
Yeah, we'll get
I
to
got
it.
9 more episodes.
I know. I'm going to steal all the good ones.
He's threatening to fill in the whole thing if we don't, which I'll just erase some and I'll fill in mine.
No, I'm only going to fill in my portions, but I'm going to steal all the good ones. That's what I'm saying. Hippo's not going to be able to say, miss my land drop, play Glenhawk to re-pick up Ancient Den, play my Ancient Den for another spell.
No, I'll just I'll play Score Skyfish and do the same thing.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
You want to go with cool interactions?
Technically different.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Common Ground Podcast. Your favorite podcast. We talk about your favorite format, Pauper. I am your co-host, Cameron Schindler, episode 91. Joined, as always, by Thomas Hammer Gun. What's happening? Throw back to a classic.
Yeah, the OG. Actually, someone recognized me by my Hammer days. My brother Isaac, he's a technical director for esports production and stuff. Works a bunch of events, and he's out at PAX West this past weekend. And he met someone who I know through Twitter that was like recognized his last name, and then it was funny. Like, "Oh, do you know Thomas Gunn?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's my brother." It's like, "Oh, yeah, he's that Hammer guy or whatever." Because like she was also like a Magic person, and like I think she queued for the Pro Tour within the last year or two. So I think she's played at PT. Which
That's
is
dope.
cool.
That's dope. How
anyway,
you doing?
It was, I'm doing good. I'm having a good time. Reorganizing the house. A nice long holiday weekend. We're coming to you on Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to all those. I hope everyone was able to take it off. If not, then I hope you had a reasonable day. We support workers. That's what we're here for. Mm-hmm. We're here for Pauper,
yeah.
but in support of the working class, of course.
Also joined by James Hippo Hieronymus. What's poppin'?
This podcast.
Brand new whip just hopped in.
I do not have a brand new whip, and I am not hopping.
Your whip is full of the last trip of your things.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's true. This is the first time all three of us recording in a new place.
It's true.
It's true.
James and I's place, so it's kind of fun. It's coming together. We need a table. I got to clear some boxes. There's a couple things needing homes, and then it's pretty much unpacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Just hanging some stuff up.
Pretty well unpacked.
Croissant's eating the tape off a box. You're such a good cat. God. Today we thought we would do a little shakety shake of the mailbag.
Mm-hmm.
Get that out of there. Answer a couple questions. Maybe see how we're feeling about challenges, and then we're gonna do some scheduling stuff. We won't record that part though.
No,
that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, we got enough
what
stuff
should we do
planned
this
out,
week?
though.
What should we we just record that as an episode. The episode where we plan episodes on there.
Oof.
Do we have any housekeeping first thing to do?
Not that I can think of, though I will say, I have James, sounds like James might have something, but I will say that if you are attending MagicCon Atlanta, which I think is, all right, cool, that's what James is going to shout out. MagicCon Atlanta is coming up. If you are going to be there, if you have a badge, there is a Pauper event, the Pauper Cup. These are kind of the biggest events that happen in the States at these MagicCons for Pauper, currently anyway. We're all us little regional, little pop-up tournaments. We're starting to creep up on that. It's pretty cool.
So we got the NRG stuff, upstate.
Yeah, keep an eye out for that. They just had an event back on the 23rd up in Lansing. I think we briefly talked about it last week as well. So keep an eye out for more NRG events. We'll give y'all a shout out when the next one is happening with them, because of course that will be tied in with the RIW Championship Series, which I believe is coming up in December. So there will be a few more events if you're in the Midwest, North Midwest area. You can sign up and get qualified for that event. It's going to be a really, really fun time. But otherwise, I think just MagicCon Atlanta. And James, you will be there.
I will be. Come find me.
Mm-hmm. Playing in
the Pauper Cup.
Heck yeah.
That is literally the only event I plan to play in. Yeah. As far as I'm aware.
Events, I wonder if the prizing will be Spooderman boxes.
I don't know. We'll
get
find
your
out.
Spooderman cards. That's our previews.
That's true. But yeah, come find me. I'll be there. I'll be hanging around. I'm sure I'll be doing some other Atlanta stuff as well. Mm-hmm. So if you want to come have food or do Atlanta stuff, also come find me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
You'll be hanging with Jake. You'll be hanging with Cali guys.
I'll be hanging with Jake. Jake's my ticket in. Appreciate it. And and then I'll be staying with our buddy Spencer for the weekend. It'll be fun.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, it'll be fun. And is Anna going down there too? I think.
Yep, I think her and Devin are going down there by themselves.
Devin?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, cool. He'll be fixed by that. Our friend just had surgery, but he's recovering. So
Slowly but surely.
he's slowly but surely, for sure. So we wish the best for him.
I told him I was going to have to wheelchair him out to dinner last Friday, and he's like, I can't even move.
Oh, poor buddy. We love you, Devin.
We do love Devin. But, yeah, come find me.
Yeah.
Anywhere. In Tennessee.
I mean, you won't find me in Tennessee that weekend, but you'll find me in Atlanta.
13. Yeah, it's true. You want to dive right into the first question?
Sure. Yeah, this comes from longtime question asker Elliot, I believe. This was some of these are from a little ways back, so thank you for everyone for your patience. This one was back in April. We got a couple of questions. 1, what's the weakest color in Pauper? And 2, what's the weakest 2-color pair in Pauper?
Currently?
Who wants to start?
Color's kind of hard.
I can give you the weakest color and color pair.
It's certainly, I think, weakest color is harder now than it was back in April. I think April you could have said like white or green, but probably white.
I still think that's
pretty hard.
I think it's white is the worst currently,
Yeah.
and then I think white and green is like the worst color combination.
I would say Simic is.
Simic at least got a deck of fog. Like fog's at least a deck.
Right, but
there's nothing with
fog is much more black green now than it was.
There are
blue
still
green.
some people out like that's the one white green deck. I mean,
that's way more represented than.
I guess. I mean, I just think it's
Blue,
not.
green, fog.
I just think it's not good.
Better than blue green fog. You just never see a Simic deck outside that, really.
And white green has Naya Gates, so like.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
Sure, whatever.
It's part of that shard. That is true.
Whatever.
Well, Simic's got Bant Terror, so.
That's true. That's true.
How can any of these colors be? How can any of
So
those
we've
three
agreed
colors
that
be
green
the worst?
X is like not good.
White X?
I think we agreed that green X is not good.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of weird. Which is weird because green's pretty strong right now. I would say like all the combo potential of like Spy, Walls, Elves, and then
Yeah.
All the Lead the Stampede decks.
Yeah, the Lead the Stampede core is very good. The Malevolent Rumble engine decks are that's very solid.
Writhing
like you were saying with
Chrysalis is
Spy and stuff
good.
like that. Yeah, Writhing Crystal is still pretty good. I don't know, that's tough. I mean, I think I want to say white in terms of color, but also like Coggates is also like a white deck as well as being a blue deck. Like it's tough to say right now. Actually, I think it's a lot closer now than it certainly was back in April.
I think white is putting up the least amount of results.
Yeah,
probably definitely the most like underrepresented. Doesn't necessarily mean it's like super weak. I don't know. I feel like all 5 colors have a nice home right now.
Yeah,
which is great. But definitely color pairs, you see some that are not represented at all. Like Simic isn't.
Yeah, Simic
Simic
and white green are just like not
pretty
really
underrepresented there.
Pretty underrepresented as far as that's concerned.
I'm trying to think of any other color combinations like
those are really the worst. Like the worst ones.
Because the other the other green ones, like green red, you've got like
the monsters
Ponza
deck.
and monsters and like parts of like Jund Wildfires is in there in a way. Green black is fog. You have Gardens is a big one, which is mostly black, but definitely
same goes for the wall deck or the spy deck.
White black is pretty underrepresented right now.
It is, yeah, because you've got like the rare pestilence decks. You've got blade decks, but they're not really popping up nearly as much as they did.
Like if anything, you'll see like the Mardu decks here and there, but yeah. Right. Definitely little.
Yeah, black white was the other combination that I thought of.
We need a Mystic Snake.
So
downshift.
White is white X is bad, is what we're saying. Is not great.
Not bad. I don't think so. Yeah, underrepresented.
It's just underrepresented and not as great as some of the other options available.
Yeah. Who knows that? But we just need Mystic Snake too.
It'll fix all of blue green's problems.
It'll be a snake for the blue snake deck. Terrors. Yeah.
Ooh.
Snake tribals.
Yeah, 4 mana.
I'm trying to hold up in 4 mana.
Yeah. Ooh.
I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe not.
For my 2/2.
It'd be a fun ghosty flicker target though.
I mean, that's true.
It's very good with ephemerate. Now we're in Bant Terror territory.
Now we're in Bant Terror.
Bant territory.
Who wants the next one? Who read that one?
I read that one. Who wants the next one?
I'll take it. Fitz from 51025. I don't know if you read that already on the last one. Mailbag question. What effect do you wish to see in Pauper that currently isn't in the format or is in the format but is too prohibitively expensive / inefficient?
I know my answer.
What's your answer?
I want to see something that says players can't gain life.
I agree.
I want to see this.
I 100% agree with you.
It could be even a 3 mana effect. Like, it doesn't need to be super cheap at 2 mana. Like, even in other constructed formats, something that says that for 2 mana is usually a rare. So we have a number of uncommons that are like 3 mana 4/3 trample, players can't gain life.
I was thinking. I think the first card that pops in my head is Skullcrack.
But my weather storms.
Right.
Yeah, that's great. Get rid of Weather the Storm.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the point. That's why I want this.
Yeah, I wonder if they would ever do that.
They could probably make Skullcrack, but deny it the 3 damage and probably just be fine. Like, assuming that was the card. Like, it says like damage can't be prevented. Like, it's like Flaring Pain, add the damage, or like the players can't gain life.
Damage can't be prevented.
That'd be interesting.
Just like make it 3 mana, which is what Flaring Pain already is.
If you flashback, sure.
And then just don't give it. And then just don't give it.
Just don't give the flashback.
We'll see like red aggressive decks do super well and still be at the top of the meta. So imagine if they had an effect like Skullcrack. I almost said Skull Clam. Ugh.
That's why I was denying it the 3 damage.
Yeah.
Like, if you just don't give it 3 damage on top of it.
No, I get you there.
I think that card, like that imaginary card, is probably fine.
But just imagine red when it had Swift Spear, or red when it had Kadol the Rebirth plus Skullcrack for you not to gain the life.
Well, that's why I say I think it needs to be 3 mana, because like holding up 3 mana for an aggressive red deck is a hard thing to be doing.
That taxes you.
Right, it taxes you, and then it also has interesting counterplay, because if you're specifically using to play around Weather the Storm, holding out that much mana means you're not casting a ton of spells, so the Weather the Storm might not be that good anyway.
And even if they don't have the Weather Storm, then there's that cat and mouse game.
Where you're just like holding up mana forever, just like waiting for them to do something, and it's like who's actually going to blink first kind of deal. I think that's kind of interesting.
Then they have the second. No, I agree. And then they have the second Weather Storm, and then there's this whole cat. I like that. That makes the whole game of playing around Weather Storm. It puts another aspect or another.
Right. And to your point, I don't know necessarily whether it would be healthy for the format.
Yeah.
Like to have that much counterplay for specifically red against specifically Weather the Storm and things like that. Because Weather the Storm is a good like stopgate to exactly how broken the red decks can feel sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you can kill people on turn 3, like we were saying when we talked about Madness Burn like a couple weeks ago. Like you can kill people on turn 3 with not an unreasonable expectation of cards.
But at the same time, I think the red deck should have some game against Sacred Cat plus Basilisk Gate, because it's really hard for almost any of the iteration of the red decks to beat that. Like once they get 2 Basilisk Gates online and a Sacred Cat or an Outlaw Medic, it's like that feels extremely unbeatable. Especially when Sacred Cat needs 2 burn spells, and that's just okay. If you point 2 bolts at that Sacred Cat gained them 6 life, and you're down 2 cards off that.
And something where you could like put a blocker in front and then like sacrifice it, or
blocker.
or lob it out your own thing. Like you run out of resources to do that after enough time, so that's not always going to work.
No, I wish Red had like a better way of dealing with that. I don't know if that's necessarily the players can't gain life or but.
Yeah, I would agree with you on the player gain life thing. I think that would be making it more expensive than current iterations of that kind of thing already that there exist. But
Brothers War has a cool uncommon. It was tuna red for a 4/3 trample, and it says players can't gain life.
Yeah, that's what I quoted.
Oh, I don't know how I missed that at all. Maybe that's why it was in my brain.
I mean, because I was coming up with a generic thing, and that's exactly what I had in my mind.
Yeah,
that exact.
Well,
card.
I was thumbing through cards earlier, and I came across it, and like my cue box was that, and I'm like, oh, I remember this card.
Yeah.
I think my effect for that question of effect, I wish was in Pauper. A couple things pop in my mind. I think the biggest thing is a Blood Artist effect. So like these sack decks could be a huge player. I feel if we just had Blood Artist, mono black sack would be a tier 1 deck. That'd be disgusting.
I mean, it's already creeping up as it is with the current like mono black sack deck. So yeah, that would probably push it into a different territory,
right? Because then you don't have to rely on pushing through combat damage.
Correct. And I'm a fan of like the fidgety sack decks, like in Pioneer when like Calvin was a thing. I thought that deck was really cool. When I was a Commander player years ago, I really liked sack decks and Aristocrats.
You essentially have this, and now it's just so much worse.
Oh, it's terrible, I think. Well, not terrible, but
it's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want more things to do with Cauldron Familiar in the format, so
That
I
would
would be
be
game.
cool.
I would be game for an enabler or a payoff.
Then
of
Red would
something
really
like that.
need players can't gain life if Blood Artists existed. If they're just
That's fine. Then
Picking and
no,
peeing,
no, because then I just play Cauldron Familiar, and it's fine. It's fine.
then
It's
you'll be
fine.
happy
They
that
can,
way.
yeah, they can whatever.
thought
Forget
of
everything I
Wraths.
just said.
too, but
Wraths.
I like that Pauper
Wraths
has
we
the
have.
identity of our Wraths are the neg 2 or the deal 2 to everything,
Mm-hmm.
or you
Crypt
make
Rats.
it with why can't I think of that card? Tox Analysis plus Card Clan or Tox Analysis plus Crypt Rats or the Hunter's Blowgun. I really like that. If you want a full Wrath effect, you have to do a 2-card combo. But it could be better than a normal Wrath too at that point, because sometimes you're building around the Card Clan Shaman or the Lifelink. It's better than Wrath of God. But I think that's a feature, not a bug. I would be really sad if we got a straight Wrath of God. It'd be very weird at common too. What set would that be in?
Yeah,
besides a commander.
that doesn't make
precon?
a whole lot of sense. I think basically they all can't just say destroy creatures. They basically all have to be like damage based effects or negative effects, like the current ones we already have. Because we already have we have 4 mana, deal 3 to everything. We have 4 mana, deal 5 to everything if you have Threshold. We have, because they're already the ones we mentioned, Drown and Sorrow and all that good junk. I just don't think Wrath of God is no, I'm not interested.
No, that's what I'm saying. I like the format identity of the 2-card combo or these little mini Wraths, and plus what limited format would that look like if you had maybe
A Wrath of
Tiger's
God.
Wrath?
Even the uncommon Rats in Commander Masters style,
6 mana?
They're like 6 mana Rats, and I don't. It might be fine, but
It'd be different. It'd be a different
yeah,
format. I don't know if
yeah.
I would like that either,
No.
because they might not even be as good as Crypt Rats or
Right.
not Crypt Rats, but a Card Clan Shaman, especially when Card Clan Shaman's 1 mana and you have a bunch of trinkety stuff around by that time.
Right.
Versus having the 6 mana there, but who knows? They'd probably see. I wonder if those would see play. You think so? The 6 mana ones?
I think you'd throw Gardens might play 1 or 2 at the
black
top
one,
end,
yeah.
or maybe even just in the board. But at that rate, they're also just a Crypt Rats deck too, so they kind of
I
already
just don't
have
think
that
there's
stuff.
a home for them. I think if there was a deck that would want something like that, it would be Coggates. But
Yeah, there's a white one. Yeah, I think Guards would play the black one too.
Mm-hmm.
at 6 mana,
Yeah,
Yeah,
how much is
1,
your Crypt
maybe
Rats?
2.
but you're already just playing Crypt Rats.
Right, that's what I
Yeah.
said too. Yeah.
It would just be more efficient Crypt Rats that didn't deal you damage.
Yeah, but it also kills it's a backup card that kills your opponent too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just no rats here.
No, I don't think we need them.
No, I don't want them. Don't get me wrong there. I don't want them here.
They're fun to play in the space though.
Hippo, do you have an effect that you wish was...
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off Thomas on that one. We both mouthed it together.
Yeah.
That's my one. That's my one I've asked for a long time.
It's on your Christmas list?
Yeah, I mean I think it's a pretty useful thing when there are so many just random gain life things that go on in the format, even outside of Weather the Storm thing. Just pick Sacred Cat, Outlaw Medic, Seeker of the Way, food tokens here,
Limbus.
left and right. As I say, food tokens left and right.
Shuffles in.
It shuffles in. Yeah, there's just so many gain life triggers. If you could just deny, even for a turn, just deny a gain 3 off of a Limbus or something, or a Reckoner's Bargain or something like that. It'd be a huge game. So yeah, that's my one.
Cool.
Yeah.
You have questions pulled up on yours or no? You want the next one?
Sure. This one comes from the Nailsmith, back in May. Question is, what card, if it were downshifted from common or uncommon to common, would ruin the format? And they gave the suggestion of Meltdown.
Ooh, that would be gross.
That would be
Meltdown would be pretty gross.
It would be pretty disgusting, I would agree.
Especially with artifact lands that are not indestructible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, that would be pretty disgusting. The red decks would have a nice tool. Also, the red or control decks would have also a nice tool.
It's funny, wildfires wouldn't even care. They just play the.
They just play
purges,
it.
Yeah.
You just blow up your Wellspring. Cool.
Yeah, deal.
I'll draw a card myself.
Guess it would be annoying because you want to play your blood fountains early for.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, it would be a little awkward there.
But
you might have a bunch of map tokens.
Not compared to Affinity, just Grixis, which would just cry in tears.
Yeah.
Thomas, you said you were talking about this, and you said you had a snap one for this answer. So uncommon to common.
Uncommon to common that would ruin the format. Fatal Push.
Oh,
Single
yeah.
black mana, uncommon. It kills it destroy target creature with mana value 2 or less, but if Revolt has triggered, which means if a permanent has left the battlefield under your control, then it can kill something with 4 mana value or less. It's just 1 mana kill anything in any format. It's legal for the most part, because it's very rare you get some like big haymakers that are outside of that range with like the hyper efficiency of Magic formats these days. So in like Pioneer, Modern, even sometimes it get like in Cube, it's a really, really efficient card in Cube. Like you removed it from your Peasant Cube because it's like the best black removal spell.
Just want to slow it down a little bit.
Right, exactly. And so I think it would just be way too efficient. I kind of like that Cast Down is like our closest thing to having a kill anything kill spell, and that's 2 mana, and that it competes with like Ichor Wellspring and all this other stuff at 2 mana and the draw
double
2 effects.
the prices.
I was like double the price,
Yeah.
but we have Defile, which is kind of close in the Garden's realm.
It's close.
It's like basically at all points of the game, that card is just going to remove whatever hits the table.
Right, but you do have to have a lot. You do have to have swamps.
There is a deck building restriction to playing Defile. I get it. I do think that it is like
Same with Scred.
Yeah, same Scred.
Extremely similar.
Or, they have very similar just deck building constraints to them.
Not every John Wildfires would play Fatal Push. John Wildfires can't play Defile or Scred.
Right.
Just don't play enough basics, for that. So
yeah,
I agree.
And Revolt, I think, is not hard to trigger in
it'd be more interesting, but yeah, it wouldn't be as easy. But there's stuff leaving the battlefield constantly.
Oh yeah,
Deadly Disputes effects. We have the little MH3 fetch lands.
Treasure tokens.
Exactly. Lembus. Oh
again.
Gosh.
But yeah, I think Fatal Push would be.
Just keeps coming up in this conversation.
It's weird.
Maybe he needs to go. My answer was kind of cheating. You said that, I'm like, man, there's a lot of powerful uncommons. Just off the top of my head, I just thought, okay, Wasteland Strip Mine. Those are uncommons. That would ruin the format pretty quick. That would solve Red's problem for Basilisk Gate. But
there you go.
Soul Ring is an uncommon, so that would ruin the format. Force of Will, don't want that in my format.
Yeah, no.
Skull Clamp.
Nope.
That would ruin the format.
Nope.
Swords to Plowshare. I feel like that's my one real answer.
That was also my answer.
Yeah.
Is my probably
pretty
I think
good.
at this point it's probably my favorite card ever.
Yeah.
Aside from basic planes. It's just the most efficient removal spell that's ever been conceived in the game. It still holds up 32 years later. It still holds up as the best removal spell. There's a reason for it. It probably should stay at an uncommon. It has no business here, as much as I would absolutely love it, and how much we got teased that we were getting it when MH3 came out.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But
I forgot about that.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep. We were over at Carson's. I remember this.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's just fake. Anyways, Swords of Plowshares, cracked card, doesn't need to be here.
Sensei's Top was that last card.
That is another.
Yeah,
I think that one might be almost might be more egregious. I think.
I thought you were about to say okay.
No. That one actually might be more egregious than Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah, I think so. I think Swords is the most reasonable on that list.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I still think it's just unreasonable.
Yeah.
But no, I think actually the worst one there actually is Sensei's Top, and I can tell you for tournament logistic purposes, that is the worst one on there, because the format is already slower than could be. That card would add so much extra time to every single turn that is played. I couldn't imagine how slow a Pauper tournament would be.
If
with
anybody
that card
listening
legal.
has never played against Top, it is a pain in the butt. I took it on my Jun tuber because Hippo just kept losing to it.
Yeah, then I didn't lose a match for like a year.
I still have it in my the ripped up copy in my
that's
binder.
hilarious.
It's still in my binder.
That was funny. Yeah, that card's
I should
a
put that in the
tournament
party game.
logistic nightmare.
The ripped up senseis. Yeah, we'll have to tape it back together, and
That'd be funny.
yeah, we'll do that.
But yeah, no, my like default answer was Swords to Plowshares for like cards that are like quote reasonable, and you think that is reasonable, but like there's nothing it doesn't kill. There's how many pro white creatures are at common?
No, I don't know.
Like a couple,
If there were.
maybe 3 or 4,
Cool.
maybe 1 or 2 that are actually like as close to playable.
Yeah. So anyways, no, that's Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah, I feel like those answers, like I said, were cheating too, because I was back in an era of Magic where rarity, like drafting wasn't a thing, so rarity didn't matter for a long time, and now there's actually, they got to think about when they print something at common or uncommon, how much that shows up in the limited environment. That's when we're talking about rafts too, that we just don't see rafts at common, because that would be the worst limited format in the world. If every deck, could you imagine a limited format, like a standard limited format where Wrath of God and Damnation were at common? That'd be insane.
I can, and I don't want it.
It would take forever.
Oof.
Thomas?
Yeah, this one comes from Slow-Mo.
Slow Mobius.
Back in June, kind of piggybacking off of the possible downshifts question, they would like to suggest one. Hypnotic Spectre. It's an iconic card from the past, doesn't have a home anywhere. I think that the pressure on the hand and life total would force more proactive solutions to removal. It can be blocked by lots of staples such as Core Skyfisher and Writhing Chrysalis. I think that it's within the power level of current Pauper. Of course, this is back in June, but we're fairly close to where we were at in June. There's been a little churn back and forth. I think Hypnotic Spectre could be cool. It could be another cool thing to do with Dark Ritual, which like is going to put you behind on cards, but kind of a fun like classic homage to OG Magic back in the day when the game first came out.
Yeah, so we have always kind of had the idea that there will always be something to do with Dark Ritual in the format, whether it be broken. Most of the time it's broken. It's almost always broken. And this might be the one, like one of those style of cards that kind of walks the line of like not too broken, and it's answered by just every removal spell under the sun.
Yeah.
In this format, so
you can
it's
just
like
Lava Dart this thing too.
Yeah, if you really need it, so you can bolt it, Gal Blast it. There's like no amount of removal
Right, it's
spells.
a 2/1, yeah.
2/2.
It's a 2/2.
Oh, it's a 2. Oh, never mind. Why
one
do I
black-
always think it's a 2/1?
Yeah, one black, 2/2 flyer.
For those who don't know, it's a 1 black 2/2 flyer, like Hippo said, and when it deals combat damage to a opponent, they discard a card at random.
That's the card. That's the part that if it was your choice to discard the card,
random's hilarious.
Your random is not a fun way to play. I don't like that part of it, but I could get behind it outside of that.
Yeah, because there's not really a. Thomas was kind of talking about the iconic play patterns of like Magic of old was turn 1 Dark Ritual, Hypnotic Spectre, or Royal Assassin, and we just don't have that value Dark Ritual. It's always been for broken things like Cycle Storm or some combo-y deck, or
The Initiative.
The Initiative was the we're gonna power something out, and that's a lot better than a Hypnotic Spectre. But I think Hypnotic Spectre would be a cool card because it goes from it's a powerful turn 1 play to that's just an okay turn 3 play. Because if they're on the play, you do that on turn 3, and your opponent untaps on their turn 4 and just plays Writhing Chrysalis. Okay, now you have a stone wall in front of you. Now you're back to our flyers there.
Again, my only argument is that has the word random on it. That's it.
Oh,
because then it just like assuming that your removal spells start at 2 mana, because some of them do. Some decks don't have a removal spell below 2 mana, like Thraben Charm or something like that. Then you just like have. And then they like hit you with this, and then you discard the 1 removal spell that you had in your hand. That feels abysmal. Yeah. That would be a miserable time.
Or for land, you need to cast it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think if it wasn't random, it would be okay. But it has random, so I'm going to 86 that one on my end.
I think it'd be fine, and it'd be a wash all in the end. If you didn't have any thoughts, I wanted to backtrack real quick too.
Yeah.
Just kind of just made me think of effects that we don't have in Pauper. We don't have like a ton of lords that would like be okay too. I think more lord effects would be kind of cool.
Sure, and they are kind of downshifting a number of them from like seeing them at rare. We are seeing more at uncommon in like as like the gold signpost uncommon in draft sets. A lot of times
tends to be one of them
recent sets
is a lord.
Yeah. I think that would be fine.
I do too, because like Pauper has like
+1/+1 to all goblins you control, or +1/+1 to merfolk you control.
I think I even said like actual Glorious Anthem would be fine.
Yeah.
Didn't we have this argument?
I think we had that discussion at some point.
Like
that might have been another Austin-inspired
That
discussion.
was Austin-esque, that one.
Yeah, I think Glorious Anthem would just be a fine card.
Yeah.
I had 3 mana for an Anthem for the table.
About the 2/1 that white creatures you control get +1/+1.
Honor the Pure?
Yeah, that'd be sick too. Yeah. I'd be curious to see what the format looks like with that. Man, it's kind of funny. This episode can just be like effects that we wish we had a Pauper, from uncommon to common or rare to common. But lords would be cool. Like even like I like when the elves deck is we have the synergistic elves deck and it's not filled by Lord of Eldamari will all your elves get +1/+1, pay 6, pump everything. But it's like Timberwatch elves, and I'm untapping them, and it's kind of like interesting that way. So maybe like, and Goblins kind of does the same thing, being combo-y. So like a Goblin Ringleader would be pretty freaking sick.
I think that was one of the ones that we mentioned when we actually did the episode entirely devoted to downshifts from common uncommons with Ringleader.
So I think the closest thing we have to like a Lord tribal deck, definitely elves, because it feels like that the Timberwatch. Yeah, but Slivers something.
Slivers actually have lords.
Actually has lords.
Yeah. Exactly.
Slivers in particular, which I think is one of the only reasons why it's even competitive from time to time, is because of those. It has multiple lords.
Yep.
And it's not really doing much else. It's just kind of an efficient beatdown
just
deck.
Need unclaimed territory.
Right. Yeah.
There you go. Back on that. A little.
Oh yeah, downshift unclaimed territory.
Or Ancient Ziggurat. Is that the one
that's
Rainbow
that can
land
only cast creatures? Yeah.
That'd be insane too.
Yeah.
Can only cast creatures.
That would be cool.
Look at that.
I could be into that.
A whole episode of effects we wish we had in Pauper.
What about something like Field of Ruin? I know you mentioned Wasteland and Strip Mine. I think that's like definitely too far over the line. But what about something like Field of Ruin?
Okay, so let me ask you this: like, what lands are you trying to blow up?
I mean,
Basilisk Gate,
probably
Heap Gate.
specifically the utility gates.
Just Heap Gate and
Probably
Basilisk Gate.
So at that rate,
Basilisk Gate's pretty good.
doesn't. I feel like every color has a way to deal with them.
Mine don't get blown up too often. When I play the deck, I'm gonna be real.
I just don't think you've played against me. I'm totally willing to blow them up. Yeah, I think every color's got a way to deal with those if they really.
But are they playable?
All of them are playable. Yeah, like they're all.
Well, what are they? Cleansing Wildfire in red for sure.
Yeah, you've got Raise.
Well, yeah, that's also in
Stone
red.
Rain.
Also in red.
Your red aggressive deck's not playing Stone Rain.
Okay, you're asking for these effects. I'm giving you the effects.
Right, but you said every color though. So what's white?
Okay, well that was for red.
Right.
What's white got?
Yeah.
What does white have?
I don't like the argument here are the effects, because it doesn't mean they're playable in the decks that exist. Because
is white the only one that doesn't have one? He might be.
Because blue can Spreading Seas.
Blue can Spreading Seas are like Boomerang or whatever for a turn.
Sure.
But again, it's
black has got like the one black destroy a land
or Contaminated Ground.
Like either one. There's like two different ones. Green's got all the ones we currently have. Let's see play.
Those are all like 4 mana though.
Just Thermokarst at 3.
I guess Thermokarst.
And the decks playing those are just the red-green ramp deck.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But so like all but white has, let's say, at least off the top of my head, have at least 1 to 2 ways to deal with a land. I don't know.
Yeah.
Demolition Field of Ruin effects. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, they're fine.
They feel different for sure. I wouldn't like it just based on what I like to play, but that'd be annoying to me. But.
It's an uncountered way to blow up your stuff. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, just that we're not a format that's somewhat defined by creature lands, so the Field of Ruin effects they get a lot better when there are creature lands that you can threaten.
Also, like, there's way more basics in this format than most other formats, which feels like way worse.
Yeah,
because there's like because I remember back playing when I played like Death and Taxes and Modern for a long time. Like, I at some point knew basically every deck how many basic lands they had in their deck, and at some point, whether I had like a Leonin Arbiter in play or not, that was just a Ghost Quarter was just a strip mine. So I guess if you like, but because there's so many more basic lands in this format, it just feels less good to me.
Yeah.
Do you need a Thalia effect?
Do not need I do not think there needs to be a Thalia effect. I think that would make things really unpleasant, to be real honest. As a Thalia enjoyer.
Last question we have here is Wapti from this is August.
Last week.
August 24th.
Wow. Of this year. This is from our Discord, right? Yeah.
These are all from this year.
Hi, y'all. Mailbag question. What are some of y'all favorite decks that got left behind or fell out the meta? One of my first decks that I loved was Orzhov Pestilence, for example.
This is a sweet one.
It's a fun deck.
First thing that came to my mind was also an Orzhov deck was a few years ago I was playing it quite a bit, was the Orzhov Blink deck. So it was like the Orzhov Ephemerae, and you played like
Vampire Sovereign,
and
Spirited Companion.
Why can't I think of the white take the initiative creature?
Oh, Palace. No,
Palace Sentinel's
the Goliath Paladin
is the
5 mana one.
Yep,
yeah.
Goliath Paladin. So you played cards like that, and then your core Skyfishers, and you were just this really, really grindy Orzhov Ephemerate deck, but that kind of just got usurped by Black White Blade and kind of
It was trying to be
we
too
entered-
cute.
And Borosynth in some
then
regards
we entered
too,
the
I think.
glitters era.
Yeah, and it
then
just got left behind.
They're just better value things to be doing. People decided that the Jeskai Ephemeray and John Wildfires were just better Wildfires decks, but then Jeskai Ephemeray being a better Ephemeray deck, having the way to loop a counterspell loop or that, or if you're a madman and don't want to win condition, you can play Tron.
Sure.
But Hippo, you and I were kind of talking. It seems like not a whole lot of decks get left behind. But
I do have one, and actually I'll shout out one of our listeners for this one. Is their pet deck Rarity. So blue black teachings control.
Okay, yeah.
That's a deck that doesn't really. That's not like a player in the meta necessarily, and it is a deck from like kind of when I started to play that was like one of the, probably was like the de facto the de facto control deck. And it just like doesn't see a lot of play. It's like the threats are more efficient, the card advantage is better. There's so many reasons. I mean, I appreciate the fight that Rarity puts up and also makes it look very good, like aesthetically. But that's a deck that's kind of been lost to time a little bit.
Yeah.
feels like a few weeks ago we could have answered Gardens too. And that kind of
And then all of a sudden.
Yeah,
and
about
same
two,
thing
about
with
two,
Coggates.
yeah, about 2 months ago we would have said Gardens and Coggates, but no, they stick around.
Things come back.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the problem is they say from the teachings deck is just like the threats are so good in the format nowadays. It's really hard to keep up with that.
Thomas, do you have anything off the top of your
A
head?
couple things. I think kind of piggybacking off of where you were headed, Cameron, the black-white blade deck has also kind of fallen off as much as it kind of like usurped the space of the black-white blink deck that you were talking about. I think it also has in its turn kind of fallen off in terms of popularity. It still pops up every once in a while, and it's a very fun deck to play. With some powerful stuff going on. But I think that's fallen behind a little bit, also mostly due to Writhing Chrysalis, but other competing factors. I think that we haven't seen the mono red dredge list in a little while. And like, I think that it's a combination of like mono red madness burn kind of taking over the mono red sneaky snacker space, and people are still trying to figure out other ways to do dredge. We got Town Greeter from Final Fantasy. So
Spy just being so
Spy
good.
is really, really good. So like that's kind of where the graveyard decks have been exploring this summer. At least that's what it's felt like to me.
Well, it feels like once Spy is really popular and people need to keep an eye on that,
Yeah, you were talking about this.
Dredge has to hide for a little bit.
Potentially, yeah.
The way that Spy is currently such a big player in the metagame, you can't I don't think Dredge is a realistic deck that you should even attempt to play currently, because there's so much just generic graveyard hate going around, and this deck is really hard for that deck to just beat multiple copies, like Spellbomb up front, multiple copies of Bijuka Bog up front, Thraben Charms, like the lot. Like there's so many ways to kill the graveyard.
Yeah, everyone's still got
Also, like the
relics
Spy
on the
deck is
board.
just a turn faster than you. Why would you play this deck? Play that like or a turn or two faster than you?
Right.
Like why would you do that? Just play Spy.
What it's doing is technically more broken than what the Dredge deck is doing, which is an interesting thing to be saying.
That is
Yeah.
Spy
But
is
it's cool.
Yeah, Spy is more broken than Dredge. Currently with giving the cards that we currently have.
And maybe we'll see the Dredge style decks come back around in the next coming months, if some waxing and waning of different things. But yeah, I agree with that for sure.
So I don't touch Dredge. It's bad.
But
It's bad.
you're saying the black-white blade, that kind of just
Yeah, I mean, I it's a cool deck. We featured it a bunch.
I loved playing it.
throughout like the beginning of this year, tail end of last year. It's still a fun deck. You can still bring it to your locals and have a blast with it.
I think Writhing Chrysalis made it pretty hard.
Right.
And honestly, even though the deck plays it, Furby too, just a lot of opposing Furbies. Yeah, you play it too, but it doesn't mean it's not good against you too. Ironically enough, that was kind of the whole Scam thing when like Fury was really good in Scam. It was also the best card against Scam, ironically enough. But
Well, after Urza Saga.
yeah. I mean,
Urza Saga was pretty good against Scam.
yeah. that's
Not
true.
gonna lie.
That was a
I
good
can
card.
speak from experience.
Me
I did not lose to Scam that PT.
neither.
That's
Technically true.
Yeah, you didn't.
Nor did I.
No. Scam did win the PT.
He did.
Hippo, you kind of said this earlier today when we were talking about the questions, but fast affinity decks, but that was kind of mainly the banning of a Tog and Disciple the Vault.
Those like back-to-back bans out of that deck, yeah.
It feels
more of
like
a banning than a falling off.
And that was kind of the identity of Affinity.
Yeah, it was just like
too.
Yeah, it was just like it was the one of the faster decks to play in the format that had a little bit of resiliency
in all formats too.
Yeah,
like the original Identity Affinity was just like, wow, this is blistering.
Yep, I remember when I first started playing Modern, like that was one of the linchpins of the format, and you've heard me say it on the show a bunch before, is that the tried and true thing of if you don't pack your hate for Affinity, it will ruin you,
or they just beat you anyway.
That's true.
You just
win through hate. Yeah, like they have their own.
Oh, why can't I think of that YouTube channel's name? That's good. Hungry on a Plane. Shout out to them. They do like very similar documentary-ristic study S-type videos, and they just did one on Affinity.
Cool. Yep, I saw that.
And it was extended, but it was a standard deck besides one Cydia Brass and one or 4 copies of Meddling Mage. So you played that main deck because you just named like Pernicious Deed and Meltdowns.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
and that won a Pro Tour. So
it did.
Sometimes your hate's not good enough.
Sometimes it's not, but traditionally, if you just packed a bunch of Affinity hate, that was your answer to Affinity because it was just one of the better ones. It was like probably the best Game 1 deck in Modern while it was like at the height of its power. There was no other deck that came close, I don't think.
That are like some version
like
of
Dredge or Infect maybe, but like those are also just those hyper linear
exactly
these things. If we have like one or two things that beat this really busted thing, then it's probably good enough.
But like to tie it back in, Affinity used to like have this, you hear and you think of this super fast aggro deck, but now especially in Pauper and I hear Affinity, I think of like, all right,
grindy mid-range deck.
Get ready to play a really, really grindy game.
Yep.
Especially with a Tog and Disciple the Vault gone. And those are cards that, I mean, from when I first played Pauper, I think those cards were legal for about 2 or 3 months before they got banned.
So I remember...
So my experience playing with them is very limited.
Yeah, I played with Affinity, I guess, when I was pre-COVID, so 2019 is when I started playing with, like, actual ATOG fling Affinity.
A damn smile.
Yeah, quite a smile. That was pretty. Yeah, it was really busted. It was very good. It's just got a way different feel because it was also more colors. Like overall, like the deck had like actually played like all 5 colors to do something. Like you would be in the main deck of sideboard or whatever, but like the deck just looked a whole lot different. Also, we didn't have like the indestructible artifact lands back then, but. Yeah, you had like Carapace Forager, which is just like basically 2 mana 4/4 in your deck. Things like that. It's like your deck was just hyper aggressive and could just kill out of nowhere. It was sick.
It's kind of funny. We're talking about like old Affinity and like times like this, but especially old Affinity, like around like circa like 2007, 2008. But now we're at a point when I'm talking about like the black-white Ephemerate deck, where kind of like reminiscent on that. It's when you're playing the deck at a time, you're not like, I'm going to look back on this deck fondly and be like, I miss this deck. You know, you're just playing the deck at the time. It's so strange to think. Nostalgia is weird.
Depends on who you ask.
Especially like nostalgia from 3 or 4 years ago is weird.
Yeah, I mean, that was like it was like the kind of the turning point for the game. It's about that time too.
Yeah, it is true.
Like made like Arena was really started to get
and your
really,
sleeve up
really, really big.
Starting to feel nostalgic for that. You play it because I was just going through like my collection of stuff to get rid of, and I had some cards next together in like an artifact section. It was Pestilent Cauldron, the Chain Veil, Cityscape Leveler, and Portal of Phyrexia.
Yeah,
and it just made me smile and I'm like, damn, I won so many games with these cards. You know?
Yeah. Pioneer was great.
Yeah. The nostalgia is weird.
Nostalgia is weird.
Yeah.
It's hell of a drug.
It's
true.
Tell me about it.
I mean, I was at the flea market a couple of weeks ago with our buddy Carson and just digging through. There were like a few vendors that had like cards. It was mostly Pokemon cards, but just like looking through some stuff, I found like base set Arcanine. I didn't have a base set Arcanine for my like set of
Oh,
the
yeah,
original.
yeah.
I'm working on a set of the original 150 with printings from at least one of each printing that they had from the first 3 sets from base set Jungle Fossil. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I don't have an Arcanine. It was the best $2 I've ever spent in my life. It was just like, I found a Dugong, I found an Arcanine, I found a Porygon, but I already had a Porygon, so I gave him the Porygon. And he was looking at a Pikachu, but the guy was selling it for way too much. And I was like, I have an extra base set Pikachu at home for you. I got you.
That's funny.
I got you. But that was fun. I was so excited. It's like, I don't know if anyone remembers, speaking of nostalgia, I don't know if anyone remembers back in the day, back in like late 90s, very early 2000, you'd like hold a base set Arcanine and be like, it's got 100 hit points, it's an uncommon, what is this thing is so broken.
I never played. I always just collected the cards.
Yeah.
So, yeah. A little nostalgic big question for y'all then. Is there a deck in Pauper that you never got the opportunity to play and now is banned or now doesn't see play that you wish you got to play? I think mine, well, I'll give you all some time to think, is the Peregrine Drake combo decks.
That was the first one that popped in my head, actually.
Because I really liked Brood Scale. I liked the Splinter Twins-esque effect, and playing this Is It Scred control list with the Peregrine Drake would be kind of fun. And having that aspect is something I can look at. And man, I would love to pilot the Atog stuff too, but
Yeah, Tog was so sick.
never got a chance to sack my board to a Tog for lethal. But I've done it with Arcbound Ravager. I imagine it's pretty similar.
Basically, yeah.
I think for me, I would have just liked to have played with Deadly Dispute more.
Oh,
no, really.
Yeah.
I just like never like in like fun creative ways where the treasure, you're actually like really using the color for it in some way, like to like splash, make something fun. Like I love brewing, and I just never really like used it as part of a shell to brew with, because I was just stuck in like mono red land or mono blue land, or someone just hand me a deck land. So like I just didn't get a chance to really like dig in with Deadly Dispute and like really find creative ways to splash with that treasure.
Yeah.
I think that could have been fun. Definitely might have gotten boring after a little while, but I don't know. That's the only really thing that comes to mind for me. I mean, yeah, I definitely, wouldn't have wanted to play with like Sinkhole or anything like that.
Actually, so I played with it online, but I never got to play it in paper. Basically, I guess for most of the old school Pauper that I got to play, like in 2015 or 14 or whenever I started playing, was the mono red deck at the time. That deck was really cool. That was back when we had only Thermo Alchemist as like the pinger. You had Keldon Marauders.
Oh yeah, baby.
You played the needle. You played a full set of needle drops.
Oh, needle drops is a sick card.
Yeah, so that deck was cool. I never got to play it in paper. Played it online. The deck was really fun. I don't know. That was the deck. Yeah, Cameron, you mentioned like the Peregrine Drake deck. That deck was also really cool. Another deck that I did not get to play a ton, because that was kind of when I was on a break from the format, was the Arkham's Astrolabe deck, the like Mardu piles of cards that they made back at the time.
Oh yeah, that
deck was really cool.
By far the best thing to be doing.
Yeah, basically any deck that was playing Astrolabe was the best thing to be doing. It didn't matter almost what you were even doing with
What
it.
format?
Yeah, it almost didn't even matter what format it was. It literally. I remember our friend Ellison like
play Okos, play Glenhawks.
Top 16 day a Legacy GP with like the like Monastery Mentor Astrolabe deck. He had a run that weekend that was terrifying. Astrolabe was a broken card. That would be another deck that I would be interested in playing.
I need to play more Fire Blast while I can.
Yeah, dude.
That's a card I don't think would ever go anywhere in Pauper, but it is a card I love so much in like Cube and other formats. I just never played in Pauper though.
It's so much fun.
That was part of one of the cards that you got to play in that old mono red deck too. So
I got sick white copies of it too. So
this is also back when we played Riftbolt too.
Oh, I remember Riftbolt. I was playing Riftbolt.
So funny story, when I was playing I first started playing Magic, somebody was playing like Mono Red Burn or whatever, and I was like going through their graveyard, and I played against them a few times already at this point, and I was like thumbing through their graveyard for some reason, and I see the Riftbolt in there, and I'm like, I didn't know it was called a Riftbolt. I thought it was called Suspend a Riftbolt, because I've never heard someone say Rift Bolt. I've only heard suspend a Rift Bolt. Never heard Rift Bolt. And so I thought that was kind of cute, and that just unlocked a memory of mine. How much time we at? We gonna do challenges, or what are we at?
We can blast through some challenges.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. All right, y'all ready?
Boring.
James?
Go for it.
Alrighty. Let's catch up with some challenges, fam. It's been a while. It's been a while since we read off challenges. It's also been a while since we've been in the same room together doing this. Various traveling and all that whatnot. So this is Friday's Magic Online Pauper Challenge on August 29th. We got 49 players. In our top 8 here, in 8th place, NMT SEO 94 on Demir Terror. In 7th place, XTO2 on Mono Blue Terror. In 6th place, LBBL on Gruul Panza. In 5th place, Tyrube 1618 playing High Tide. In 4th place, Lenny on Mono Blue Terror. In 3rd place, Discovern playing Old Faithful Mono Blue Terror. In 2nd place, Ed Elric playing Rakdos Madness. And in 1st place, with an 8-1 record, Sakul Sautam, excuse me if I butchered that, on Mono Red Rally. This is the Rally version of the Mono Red Burn deck with the Burning Tree Emissaries and the Rally at the Hornburg that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. They've got a sweet card I don't think I've ever seen in sideboards. In their sideboard
there's
here.
a few different cards I've never seen in sideboards across a few of these.
Yeah, so this is 2 copies of Flash of Defiance. It's 1 and a red for a sorcery. It says players can't block with green and or white creatures this turn, and it has flashback for 1 and a red and pay 3 life. That's kind of cool.
What do you? Just the big green creature decks, like elves or Ponza.
I always think white weenie, specifically because it calls out white creatures. So my thought would be that this is specifically to break through against white weenie, because you could potentially use this to break through against walls or elves.
Boggles or walls.
And they got to use their prismatic strands. Oh, no.
I would think that this is maybe, I mean, all of those decks, it's certainly, obviously, you're not going to get to break through a Chrysalis because Chrysalis has Devoid, but I think you could use this as it's a kind of a creative way to punch through a board stall from mono white or elves or walls or something like that. Though I personally have not found walls to be that difficult of a matchup from the mono red side, but this is a more creature based version. This is
turning sideways more rather than burn. You're kind of ignoring the combat step for the most part.
You do have also a couple Smash to Dust in the sideboard here too, which is pretty sweet. From DMU, 1 and a red sorcery, it either destroys an artifact or a creature with Defender, or it deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. So this kind of covers for walls and elves and random affinity stuff, face stuff. Smash to Dust, pretty sick.
Yeah, I think Drew and I were really big on that card when local Jacob was really big into walls at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just kept losing to it.
It used to be a card that you see more prevalent play too.
But the fact this is a sorcery, so I think the only thing
it's
keeps it
3 modes.
It's 3 modes. I do love
Cast in the Fire kind
of
took its place for the most part, but now that wall being very, very popular, it's cool to see this card again. Also, 4 main deck copies of Manamorphose.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
So you could
it turns your Burning Tree mana into actual something.
To Bushwhacker mana,
into actual red if you wanted to.
That is kind of sick.
Really, really cool. We were just talking about that.
Yeah,
and someone
I said it jokingly too, though.
Yeah, I know, but like
here we are. Yeah,
so
it would make more sense in the Pinger version because it's a free spell. Yeah,
well, they got 1 copy also in the main of Reckless Abandon. It's a single red for sorcery. You have to sacrifice a creature and then you deal 4 damage to creature or player.
Yeah, that one started to pop up when the less goblin-oriented versions of the deck were more popular. Mm-hmm. So a couple things that are interesting in the High Tide deck, actually, funny enough. They're playing a single copy of Compulsive Research in the main, a copy of Otherworldly Gaze in the main, along with a couple cards that I had never seen before, one that I probably had seen but never thought about. But the first card that I had never seen before is a card called Outwit, and I definitely have never seen this card before.
Oh, I've seen this card.
Single blue, instant, counter target spell that targets a player. So just kind of like turn aside, essentially.
God, that art is sick.
The art is very sick on the card.
That Innistrad, damn.
Avacyn Restored,
Avacyn Restored, yeah.
One of those sets. Beautiful art.
Yeah, it's very cool. And then unauthorized exit. 1 and a blue for an instant. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, and then you surveil 1. For those folks who played a lot of Murders at Karloff Manor Limited. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you played this card, but I did not remember. It was fine. I did not remember seeing this card at all. So,
yeah. Interesting that over Echoing Deep, just for like standard bearers or something, so you can use...
It's probably the Surveil 1 attached to it if I had to take a guess.
Does Echoing Truth say creature or non-land permanent?
Good point. I think it's creature.
Echoing Truth is non-land permanent.
Oh, is it? It is? Okay.
Yep. I can't remember.
Yep.
Okay. So you're trading the...
ask me how I know.
Yeah.
So what do you think you bring these outwits in the counter target spell that targets a player? Like duress effects? You don't really care that much, do you?
You certainly do care.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Last rites, does that target a player?
It does.
So I think that's mainly for the
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. So there's plenty of options.
More counterplay. More counterplay.
Weren't we supposed to get a like little touch in about High Tide that we never got? Like
we did.
It's coming.
We got our little touch in from this past week on Twitter.
Was it like an
BlueSky
article
or whatever? No,
it's just Gavin being like, things look fine right now. No. We're still keeping an eye on it. We'll let you know later.
Which I think cool beans.
So like I think he said October, November, sometime in there.
Cool. Just keep pushing it.
Which I think is fine. Like, the format seems fine.
No, I agree.
Yeah. Discovering isn't changing up too much with Mono Blue Terror here. We've got the 1 Spell Pierce. We have the 1 Spell Pierce 3.
I like Spell Pierce.
We got the 1 Spell Pierce 3 to spell split over here in Mono Blue Terror and the Terror list. 1 Deep Analysis has made its way back into the main as well over the 3rd Deem Inferior, but we're still rocking a couple Sleep of the Deads in the main, which they just continue to impress. And the 2 Envelop in the sideboard, which is the single blue instant counter target sorcery spell. This has kind of become stock as well over the 7th and 8th copies of Blue Blasts. We still got 4 Annuls and 3 Gut Shots.
Cool.
Wonderful.
Try and move it to the 8th, or not the 8th? The
8th.
The 30th.
The 30th. That's way more than 8.
Yeah, I know.
It's 22 more than 8.
That's a lot more. All right, we got our Saturday, August 30th challenge. We got 56 players. A few more players this time around. We have in 8th place Blaze 66 on Jund Wildfire. In 7th place, all eyes on me on Flickertron.
You got there this time.
I got there. I figured it out. In 6th place, Nascimento playing High Tide. Another top 8 for High Tide. In 5th place, Sheeb on Elves. In 4th place, Kochinho playing Mono Blue Terror. In 3rd place, Bubbyro playing Mono Red Madness Burn. In 2nd place, Luffy Doge Chapeau DePaula on Grixis Affinity. And in 1st place, making back-to-back finals, and this time taking it down, Ed Elric with an 8-1 record playing Rakdos Madness. So an excellent showing for Ed Elric on the weekend, I will say.
No kidding.
Ooh, interesting card here in the sideboard. We got 3 copies of Dark Withering.
I own a set of these.
This is a common from Time Spiral. It's 4 black for an instant. Destroy target non-black creature, but it has madness for a single black mana. So single black mana if you madness it to destroy target non-black creature. That's pretty cool. That's a nice little Writhing Chrysalis delete button.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I have a set of them. I'm ready to go. Should the opportunity arise.
Yep.
Nice.
And we're kind of back here. 1 Chain Lightning, no
looks like
Galvanic Blast.
Yeah. Over the 4th Highway Robbery, looks like.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's just 4 all the way down. It's nice and clean.
Yep.
Clean, as they say.
Oh, whoops.
And the two bogs.
My phone just likes to keep randomly shutting off.
Nothing crazy going on over here in Luffy Land. Looks like pretty stock Luffy list.
Wonderful.
Should we give that car a second to figure out its stuff?
I don't care, unless you care. We can.
Well, is it picking it up?
Probably.
Give it a second.
Okay.
Is it any of us?
It's not me.
Nope.
There we go. Figured it out.
I was like, it might be me. I'm like, it's not me.
It's not.
What about Luffy's list?
Man, nothing really of note. Just standard looking Luffy list to me.
Standard Luffy stuff. The Flickertron list, we got 3 copies of the Cryogen Relic. Kind of a card I wish we would have saw see more popping up in the. I
Yeah.
kind of wanted the FAM's Ghostly Flicker stuff to be more of a thing with it. I guess Flickertron's making really good use of it.
I think the problem with that card is that it actually just has a colored mana cost on it. That's the worst part about that card.
Yeah, but
Honestly, I mean, the card is very good, obviously.
FAMs don't care about that color.
No. I'm talking. Well, actually, they do want it to have color because that makes it cost less.
Well, exactly. Yeah, I guess it's good for fans.
It's good
that
for
way.
fans to have it, but it's like not a thing that any other deck wants. Basically, Grixis Affinity can play it kind of for free, but they're not even playing but one copy of it. So,
yeah, I wish we would see like more like Ghostly Flicker stuff. I guess be the change you want to see in the world.
That's right.
I still want to see a Flickertron deck playing either Sprout Swarm or Capsize, but that's not gonna be me.
That'd be pretty cool. I want to call out the sideboard of the Mono Red Madness Burn list in third place. It's just a small thing. Main deck is looking pretty stock. In the sideboard, it's the 8 Red Blast and the 4 Searing Blazes. Instead of the usual 3 Relic of Progenitus, just swapping them out for the 3 Fairy Macabres, which I like. It's a little better against the spy stuff. It's a way to hold up free graveyard interaction without committing anything to the board to forecast anything. This is kind of what I was saying that I was going to prefer to lean on as my graveyard interaction of choice should I play a deck like this in the future.
yeah, I think just having it be a non-spell or a non-creature spell,
Right.
is really the big game there. And the fact that it is just like really hard to deal with, like you look at it and you go, oh well, there's like nothing I can do about that. The best card they have for it is, or like specifically the Spidex is Mezfiend, and you just kill it and get it right back, and it still deals with 2 things.
Yeah.
It kills because most of the spy lists are playing 2 trolls in the deck or giants or whatever the heck they are. So if you just snipe both at the same time, it's really funny.
I had an interesting edge case come up too where I think I mentioned it before, but it's also good against stuff like Pulsa Marasa, where if your opponent is trying to rebuy something, even if it's a big threat, regardless, they're going to gain 6 life. So for a deck like Mono Red Madness Burn, you really want to keep that 6 life from happening, so you can exile their target to not only stop them from getting the card back, but it'll totally fizzle the Pulsa Marasa at all, and they won't gain that 6 life. So another little edge case to like bring it in against like Gardens if you really want to, because I don't think you're bringing in Searing Blazes or Red Blasts against Gardens anyway. So it like gives you, like, if you want to bring in a couple copies for those edge cases, I think that's totally fine. And they're also a Blood Fountain deck, so you can just
you can actually take out your Sneaky Snackers for them, because your Sneaky Snackers are kind of bad in that matchup anyways.
Yeah,
you have so many pieces of graveyard
they
hate.
do. That's true.
So,
and they're already going to try and lean on those anyway because they know you have them. Yeah. That's a good point. That's something that I would need to teach, to relearn it or recalibrate my brain of like, okay, when do I need to cut these Sneaky Snackers?
Yep.
I feel like it's going to be more than I think.
I always trim 1 or 2
potentially.
as well.
Yeah.
That's a good place to start, is trimming a couple Epicures, trimming a couple Sneaky Snackers is kind of where I end up going with that, because you want your draw effects, you want your madness cards.
Yeah. Sunday?
Well,
or do you
real
have
quick,
any?
this Joe Wildfire deck by Blaze66, 0 copies of Karkland Shaman in the 75.
Interesting.
Yeah, it feels like
Breath
a lot of the like Italians kind of moved away from using Card Clan. This is probably, they just kind of use Duress instead.
Yeah, so they have 3 copies of Duress. Just think you're fine enough against the creature matchups already. You kind of want the combo.
Yeah. I mean, you just
instead.
your combo hate's worse because you're like, that's your worst matchups. Things like High Tide and Wall, or like really High Tide's like your worst when you're like with the.
But you do lose a lot of game against stuff like Elves or even Terror, having the Karkland Shaman out there.
You do, but also like having Duress is not dead in basically any matchup in the format. Like there's almost no matchup where that card is just completely dead. If you snipe like a Lead the Stampede from Elves, like that's backbreakingly good.
Yeah, I'd rather just have the Karkland Shaman in that matchup though.
Like, I think you're looking at more across the match, like the matchup spread. That's what they're doing.
Yeah,
and just giving
agreed.
themselves better options.
Yeah,
I'm just like game 1. Like there's like no deck in the format that's like completely dead to like for your Duress targets. So
Move it to Sunday.
Yeah, let's move it to Sunday. This is Sunday, August 31st, the Magic Online Pauper Challenge with 67 players. We have crossed that 64 threshold. There is a 7th round of Swiss for this event. I want to call out in 10th place, we've got an Infect list from ICT 95. Looking pretty sick, pretty standard Infect stuff, but you know, we always like to see when Infect pops up every once in a while. And we were speaking about Dredge earlier in not only our 8th place finisher, but also our 9th place finisher, both with copies of Dredge here. Our 8th place finisher here took their only loss in the tournament in the quarterfinals with Dredge. This is Marzaboy playing.
So ignore me on my telling everyone to not play Dredge.
Well, it's just one of the 2 major options, and like you're gonna have. But I think Dredge, like, not the mono red version, but the one that's playing green, that's green based. I think you have more options to deal with stuff like a relic sitting there. You're gonna bin a couple ancient grudges, and you'll be able to, you know, force them to pop their relics or their spell bombs or things like that. Like, you have a little bit more to play with. Oh, Chris, there he goes. He's getting fed. Nice. You have a little bit more play there, but it's true that it's going to be a little weaker when people are gunning so hard.
The 9th place list is sick for Dredge. It's playing 2 Tainted Strike and 1 Ardent Elementalist.
Oh,
so
that's
you can
awesome.
Tainted Strike your lot, lift
That
guides.
is pretty sick.
That is really cool. Then 4 Exhumes, which is cool.
That's normal.
Oh, is that
That's
back?
that's
okay.
normal. Because they just go because it's one of the
8th
decks.
place ain't playing Exhume.
Yeah, the 8th place doesn't have exhumes.
Well, that was normal.
Oh, okay.
Like, that was forever because you can just troll and exhume on
What
two.
is normal?
When
There's no trolls in the 8th place list.
When this was normal, that's what you did. You trolled and then exhumed it on turn 2. Then you also
I found a pretty sick back-to-back 5-0 list that was green-red based Dredge. They were kind of smushing the mono red list with like the green black list together and removing black that you outside of like Stinkweed Imp and a couple Lotleth Giants and a couple Dread Returns.
We play the green for then, just like the Seder Wayfinders and all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
that's
you
cool.
do all that
Yeah.
plus Knot of the Bone and stuff like that.
Not of the Bones,
Yeah,
sick card.
and then you play like Faithless Lootings, Cathartic Reunion.
Yeah, if you really want to beat the honestly, if you want to beat red decks too, this deck's pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Not of the Bones, pretty sick.
In 7th place, Out Zero playing Rakdos Madness. In 5th place, Lepap on Mono Blue Fairies. That was 6th place. My bad.
Actually want to pose a question.
Okay.
Are we still calling it Fae when there's more humans in the deck than there are fairies?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can rip Spell Stutter Sprite from my cold dead hand.
It's just called Mono Blue Tempo.
We still have no. That's what terrors.
So's like the Delver Terror deck.
I mean, Dredge exists. There's only one card that Dredge is in the deck.
The ongoing debate of why Magic decks are called what they're called.
Okay.
Speaking of, in 5th place, Ixodor 29, Gruul Panza. Should we call it something that's not Panza, James?
You know why it's called Panza?
It's some person.
I thought it was pizza.
Oh, I have no idea.
That was something to do with a pizza restaurant.
Oh, cool.
From some New Yorkers in the pizza restaurant, or some New Yorkers in a person.
If someone knows, tell us in Discord. In 4th place, Fire Ava on Green White Boggles. Boggles making an appearance here. Well done.
Should it be called Green White Hexproof though? Since
Yeah, there's only one Boggle. Yeah, green white hexproof auras. In 3rd place, Luminati with Mono Blue Terror. Also,
this should be Mono Blue Tempo.
Yeah, Mono Blue Tempo.
Lightning Bolt.
That's fine.
In 2nd place, Purgatory 01, also playing Mono Blue Terror. And in 1st place, Natalino 91, the creator of Mono Red Dredge, with a 9-1 finish with Mono Black Sacrifice. We were just talking about
I think
it.
that name's appropriate for this deck, actually.
I think that deck is quite on the money. No, it's Mono Black Carrion Feeder, clearly. Mono Black Sacrifice, James was just saying earlier in the episode, this deck is on the way up, and it definitely still makes a splash here and there. It's changed a little bit since we've like really leaned into chatting about it. I wanted to just run through it real quickly. So we have 3 full playsets of 1-drops that die into tokens. We have Infestation Sage, Nezumi Linkbreaker, and Nested Shambler. I think at this point, Nested Shambler being kind of the best of the bunch, even though they all basically just die into at least one, but sometimes if you can make Shambler have a little little bit more power with something like supernatural stamina, perhaps, then it can sack into more than 1 token, which is kind of cool. Then you have Mortician Beetle, which is the 1-drop that gets bigger anytime any player sacrifices a creature. So remember that when your opponent's sacrificing their Eldrazi spawn.
Yeah.
Carrion Feeder, the classic 1-drop. It's a 1/1. It can't block. You sack a creature. It gets bigger with +++ counters. It plays a couple of 2-drops in one of my favorites, a Cursed Marauder. It's playing 3 copies of a Cursed Marauder from MH3, which is the 2/1 that enters and each player sacrifices a non-token creature. So like a great removal spell on a body that cares about sacrificing. Bloodthrone Vampire is kind of one of the newer additions over the last couple months. It's 1 and a black for a 1/1. Sacrifice a creature, Bloodthrone Vampire gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So that's also kind of a really efficient way to do that, and kind of reminds me of a standard of old with what was that card? Husk. The Nantuko Husk. Yeah, which is
I was thinking this.
3-mana
I was like,
2/2.
I remember playing this card in Modern Masters 2 limited format.
Ooh, yes.
There was a black-green deck in that format.
Yes. And then from Edge of Eternity, we have 4 copies of Perigee? No, there's no R. Perigee Beckoner.
Oh, never mind. Ignore me.
Yeah, no, you're good. Perigee Beckoner. So it's 4 and a black. It's one of the warp creatures. So we are getting some warp love here.
I think this card does make a combo occur in the deck.
It does. So it's a 5-mana 4/5. Then when it enters until end of turn, another target creature you control gets +2/+0 and gains basically the scam text. If folks were playing around that, we mentioned that earlier. When this creature dies, return to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. And it has warp for 1 and a black, so you can put it in for its warp cost, give something that ability, and then sacrifice the thing that got the ability for value. That thing will come back either for additional value. If you have 2 of these, you basically can sacrifice them back and forth if you have a sacrifice outlet. Yeah, if they continue to target each other. So if you have one of your sack outlets in play and you warp one of them in and then you warp the other in, you can basically go back and forth, sacrificing both of them back and forth until your creature, your outlet is as big as you need it to be, essentially.
This is why Blood Artist is very scary.
Yeah, that would be insane, because now it just makes the only thing it really does is make your Mortician Beetle, your Nested Shambler, or your
Carrion Feeder.
There you go. Yeah,
or your Bloodthrone Vampire.
Yeah, that's true. So one of those.
Yeah, and Mortician Beetle will grow alongside either of those two. So you can have multiple huge threats.
That is true. And we've seen that's been good enough with whatchamacallit before.
With the Brood Scale. Exactly. And you don't even need to attack because they also play Rite of Consumption.
Yeah,
it's their fling.
Yeah. It's basically a fling. Yeah, 2 mana, sack a creature, deals that much damage, and you gain that much life. Basically, equal to the damage done. Which is pretty nuts.
It's a really sick card.
It's a really cool card, specifically for this deck. This deck is really sick. I have played a little bit of it. I haven't brought it to an event yet, but I've played some practice games with it. Really, really fun. I would love to bring it to an event sometime.
Same. This is also a deck that looks very sick.
Yeah. Really cool.
Rite of Consumption's a dope card.
It is a cool card.
It says additional cost, sacrifice the creature. So if your opponent's waiting to use their cast down, when you attack with your infinite, it's too late. It's whoops. I have at no point.
This is basically the Callous Sellsword kind of card and for the standard of the last year or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I think that targeted, right? Did that target your creature, or is it sacrificed?
That targeted the creature and then it sacrificed it. It did the damage and then it sacrificed. So that was specifically better with prowess creatures, which is why it was in that deck.
Yeah, but this is no interaction point besides counterspell.
Right.
On the stack. Yeah.
It's
pretty brutal. This deck's cool. Thomas, you had this sleeve. Do you still have this sleeved up?
I had half of it. I had half of it sleeved, but really I had Derek's copy.
I do have this deck aside from the Beckoner that I'm waiting to get my copies from Andy. And I'm sure if we want to go through my cards again, I will find my copies of the vampire that you sack the things to.
Mm-hmm.
So I do own this deck.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
And the Rite of Consumption. I also don't have that one. That's an obscure card that I don't have.
I'm sure we could find it though.
But yeah, I saw this when you were playing around with this deck initially. I was like, this deck looks really cool.
Yeah,
so I did buy it.
I've been thinking for a long time of there's got to be something we can do with like scam type effects, because
Found it.
they're all like the 1 mana, like give your creature that ability where if it dies it comes back. Like it was really, really powerful with good ETBs in Modern for that brief period of time when scam was the best thing to be doing.
And those are some pretty messed up.
There's
ETBs.
some pretty messed up ETBs
for zero mana.
Right, that's what I was trying to think of. I was trying to think of like what are the cheap evoke costs that we have, and like the cheapest one is like the 5 mana red 3/3 with evoke for a single red that just destroys an artifact. And like that's not like that would be a good sideboard card for a deck that was like kind of playing with that engine, but being able to do this in combination with the warp effect, and then also just you sacrifice one of your you supernatural stamina, one of your 1/1s that dies into tokens. It's why it's specifically really good with Nested Shambler, because you just get 3 squirrels and then it comes back and you just do it again later. Really cool.
The blue creature and it leaves play. I believe it puts a non-land permanent on top of its owner's library. Just pretty gross when they start targeting lands or ephemerating it. But it's 1 blue to evoke.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, but yeah, all the evoke costs are just
Expensive.
too expensive to like really
Like the closest one
get
is like
broken.
Moldrifter. That's actually like playable.
Right.
It's like
And like ephemerate Muldrifter
Ephemerate
is
is
like
already a
already
thing.
just at that rate. You just might as well do that.
To be fair, I did say that like I think these warp costs would be really good with ephemerate too. So
Yeah.
I think that space is still a little underexplored, but you do get extra value this way from doing all the sacking shenanigans, which is super fun. It's a really unique archetype, actually. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just needs his blood artist. It's set.
That actually would be legitimately terrifying.
Any other thoughts on this challenge? Are y'all ready to wrap it up?
No, that's
good to wrap it up.
that's an interesting weekend for challenges.
Yeah.
If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, advice, looking for advice from us, oh God, you can send those concerns to us. Common Ground MTGpod at gmail.com. That is in the description below, as well as our Discord. You can also reach out to us, our Discord, or any of the people in the lovely community. Got a bunch of cool folks in there. Our recovering Devin, our friend Anna, Callie Guys, all sorts of
I was like,
peoples.
the alum of the pod are all in there.
Yeah.
And
That's true.
others.
And others. And Rardy, as mentioned, Rardy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mystical Teachings themselves. Yeah, you can join that and hang out. Or don't.
You should
Be
do it,
less
though.
cool if you didn't, though.
It's a
Or you'd
great-
be
it's
less
just
cool
a-
if you did. Yeah.
Just a great endorsement
Yeah,
of our
well-
community space.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, I'm not going to force you. I'm like a nice drug dealer.
No, that's good. That's good.
You want to buy some drugs? No? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
What you got?
fine. Yeah, it's just nothing.
Oh, well,
Won't
that's
pressure
not
you.
very nice.
Yeah, fair.
That's
What the hell?
That's misleading.
5 stars. Put them in there. You know how it goes.
5
Tell
stars,
your friends.
little man. Put them stars in my hand.
That's all I got.
5 star chips.
Oh God. He has like the gauntlet, just the whole ass.
The little like big gigantic
yeah, he's
ring
just got
hand around.
60. Why are there even that many?
Why not?
Unreasonable.
I like the cards. I like that they made the tokens into tokens, like the your entrance to Duelist Kingdom, like the little invite card.
Oh,
It
the
was,
little
like, the
invite.
treasure.
Yeah, you actually have them now.
The map
Yep.
and was it?
Actually, I bet you those are in that box right
Those
there.
are cool. I want to use the treasure for
Yeah, do it up.
for Magic. I almost said for Pokemon. Jesus Christ.
You're making treasures in Pokemon? I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, probably.
It's a different mechanic.
That's all I got.
Cool. Thank you all so much. We'll talk to you next week.
Drive safe.
Later, everyone.
Holy,
A big stretch.
that was that a ghost of a horse came out of you.